Good morning, students. Now we are going to see the back of the leg. In the last video, you had seen about the superficial muscles in the back of the leg formed by the two gastrocnemius, soleus muscle and the plantaris. Now here we have reflected the superficial muscles and we are going to see the deep muscles. Now but before that, let us go to the structures beneath the flexor retinaculum of the leg. Okay, here also there is a band of the deep fascia extending between the medial malleolus. This is the medial malleolus, and here is the medial tubercle of the calcaneum. So there is a band of deep fascia extending, which is called as a retinaculum. Now the structures underneath this flexor retinaculum include: first is the tendon of tibialis posterior. This is the tendon of tibialis posterior. Next, the tendon of flexor digitorum longus. This is the tendon of flexor digitorum longus. Then the artery. This is the posterior tibial artery. Then the nerve, that is the tibial nerve. And lastly is the tendon of flexor hallucis longus. So this is the tendon of the flexor hallucis longus. Now let us see the muscles one by one. As we had seen over here, the first tendon is the tendon of the tibialis posterior. Now, as you can see over here, this muscle, this is the tibialis posterior muscle. This tibialis posterior muscle, it takes its origin from the posterior surface of the shaft of tibia, below the soleal line, from the lateral part, and also from the posterior surface of interosseous membrane and the posterior surface of shaft of fibula in front of the medial crest. So this is the tendon of the tibialis posterior. This tibialis posterior tendon, it passes in the groove behind the medial malleolus, and then it is inserted into the tuberosity of the navicular bone. The insertion also extends to the other tarsal bones except the talus, and from here the insertion extends to the base of the second, third and the fourth metacarpal. Next is this muscle. This is flexor digitorum longus. This flexor digitorum longus muscle, this is the flexor digitorum longus. It takes its origin from the from the posterior surface of the shaft of tibia, below the soleal line, from its medial part, and the tendon, as you can see over here in the lower part, it crosses the tendon of tibialis posterior. The tendon of flexor digitorum longus, it divides into 4 slips for the lateral 4 toes, and they are inserted at the base of the distal phalanx on the plantar surface of the lateral 4 toes. The next deep muscle is the flexor hallucis longus. This is the flexor hallucis longus muscle. This flexor hallucis longus muscle, it takes its origin from the posterior surface of the shaft of fibula, from the lower to third part, also from the posterior surface of the interosseous membrane. The tendon of the flexor hallucis longus, it gets inserted at the base of the distal phalanx of the great toe. There is one more deep muscle, that is the popliteus muscle. Here you can see this triangular shape. This is the insertion of the popliteus muscle. This popliteus muscle, it takes its origin from the lateral surface of the lateral condyle of the femur. There is a groove on the lateral surface, and from the anterior part of the groove, the popliteus muscle takes its origin. The tendon is intracapsular and it is inserted over the upper 1/3 of the shaft of tibia on the posterior surface, as you can see over here, above the soleal line. So this is the popliteus muscle.